my favorite people, welcome to today's video where I'm going to be giving you guys my February wrap up. This is a video of everything I read in February. I read 8 books and I had 1 DNF this month. Most of the books I read are on my Kindle, so I don't have a lot of physical copies with me, but I had 2 physical books that I actually read this month. The first book was Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck, and I ended up rating this book a 2-star. In this book we follow our female main character Sam and our male main character Nick. Nick is a single dad, he's a manager at Chili's, and honestly if you ask me, he's a normal type of guy. And Sam, she's a girl who has not figured out her life at all. She's 26 years old. She ended up stopping her life basically when COVID happened, and now she lives in her mother's office. She's been living in her mother's office for I think 5 years. I can't really remember. This book was one of those books that was not very memorable for me, but I thought the writing was good. I thought it was okay. The premise of this book is pretty simple. Sam starts getting an attraction towards her single dad new neighbor, which is actually her mom's new neighbor, but she lives with her mom, and then the single dad is also attracted to her. I feel like their whole situation was insta love. I didn't know how Nick started liking her and how she started liking him. She has a lot of daddy issues that are spoken about a lot in this story. Do I think Nick was one of those guys who was weird and played on those? No. I think he was pretty normal, and I think he was just a regular guy who was trying to find a relationship, or just not even trying to find a relationship. He just so happened to find someone attractive after being divorced now, and I just think he liked her, and that was it. I don't think he was weird at all, but she had a lot of daddy issues, and I really don't ever think she got those figured out. She needed a lot of therapy, if I'm being honest. Then we're also following her trying to like figure out her life, because her life is all over the place, and I do think towards the end what she ended up doing was just so she could say she did something, and now she did that, and just so she can get out her mom's office. I don't think she ever really did anything for herself, and she really needs a lot of work that needs to be done on her. Oh my god. There was a quote in this book that I did like, and I will always remember that because it speaks a lot to parents, where Nick basically says he was depressed at a point, but he was okay because he has a child, and he's okay because whatever he has to deal with in life, it's fine because he's doing it for his child. And I really liked how that was spoke upon. I feel like a lot of parents can relate to that, and it was nice to read as a child. I overall rate this book 2 stars. I don't have much more to say about it. The next book I ended up reading was Heated Rivalry, and I love Shane and Aaliyah. Oh my gosh, they're in my brain right here. They're always with me, and I will never let them go. So of course I had to read the book. If you know, you know. There's a show called Heated Rivalry. It is based off of this book, but the show is 10 times better than the book. I definitely recommend you watch the show first, then you can read the book if you really want to, if you want a little bit more insight. I feel like the insight on deeper into the scenes was nice, but do I think it was better than the show? No. I rated this book a solid 3 stars. Would I recommend somebody read this? Yes, but I would totally recommend them watch the show first and then read the book. If you don't know what Heated Rivalry is about, it's basically what's in the title. We have Shane and Aaliyah, who are 2 #1 picks in the NHL. They have a natural grown rivalry of people just putting them against each other, because obviously the #1 and the #2 pick are going to be put against each other. But the world does not know that these 2, whenever they're in each other's city, ever since their rookie season, they've been messing with each other, and it's just very heated and it's very rivalry. So as we read the book, we watch them fall in love, and I want to say this book does start off very insta-lust, real freaky, but as you read the book, y'all, we are watching them fall in love. This is a love story to the T. It is a love story. I will never ever say it's not a love story. You might be like, okay, it's a lot of smut in the beginning, but as we keep reading, as we go to the cottage, oh baby, this is love. This is all love. I love Shane and Aaliyah. I have literally a whole book journal with stickers of them all over it. I have merch already. My water bottle has them on it. I love them, and they're my whole world, and I will keep them in my heart forever. The next book I ended up reading was The Legend Next Door by Jesse H. Rain. I was continuing on with the Totally Puck series. This was the second book in that series. I read the first book, not sure what I rated. I think it was a 4-star, and I rated this book a 3.75 star. We have Ben Sterling, who was a single dad, and he actually just moved to a new city for a reason that we'll learn when you read the book. And then we also meet Jeremiah, who's a guy who lives in the city, and he has a bunch of jobs, and he's actually his neighbor. Jeremiah is younger, and I love Jeremiah because the fact that he's had so many jobs, and he was supporting himself, and he lived alone, and he just had so many fun jobs. He was a yoga instructor, he did pottery, I'm pretty sure he had a photography job. I just love that about him, and it really made me connect to him, because I want to be that type of person who just had a whole bunch of jobs and just did a whole bunch of fun just to live, just because I liked it. This book was definitely more of a slow burn. I'm not really into slow burns, but I felt like it was done well, and it was needed because Ben is a single dad, and he has to take his time with a lot of things, if you ask me, and I think it's very valid, and I really understood him. We deal with grief in this story, and we also just deal with someone coming to a new life and being able to understand like, hey, I actually might like men. It was a part in this story, something like smut wise, that I really liked. It's something that I like when books do this. It does not happen a lot in books, but when books do that, it actually raises the rating up for me because it's something that I do like to read. So my book rating was the 3.75 stars. I don't really have much to say about this book. I think the slow burn worked for the two men, and I also do think it should have been more tension, because I should have been feeling this slow burn through the seams. I should have been fiending by the time it started to really press down, and I feel like the only person who had a lot of tension through the book was Jeremiah, when Ben should have been feeling it too. So it wasn't a lot of tension for me. I didn't like that, so I ended up rating it 3.75 stars. Overall, it was a good book and I would recommend it. The next book I read was by Nordica Knight, and it's called Garden Park. I honestly thought I was going to love this book. I gave it a 3 star because it was good. It's another story where we have Devin and we have Maddox, and they both ride dirt bikes basically. They also live in trailer parks. They deal with like abusive or alcoholic parents. I like a setting where I can actually feel for these people. When people live in trailer parks, I don't want it to be fake, like, oh, we got a little some and they always find a way. No, if y'all don't have money, I want to read that y'all don't have money. I want to be able to feel for y'all and understand where y'all are coming from, and I so badly felt for them. I felt so bad for them in this entire book. They ride dirt bikes. They do not like each other, because this father don't like this father. They don't like each other. They used to beat each other up. They really are bullying each other. They hate each other. They beat each other up all the time, but it's like they do it to get each other attention. Like, I'm gonna mess with you and I'm gonna beat on you because I want you to see me, and I don't never want you to go away, because you are the most stable thing in my life. Knowing that I can fight you every day in and out is the most stable thing in my crazy hectic life, and I feel like that's where it all started. I would recommend this book. It's actually a duet. I haven't read the second book. I feel like I would like the duet, but I didn't love the first book, so I'm not really in a rush to read the second book. The next book I read was Bad Bishop by LJ Shin, and this was the highest rated book I read all month. I rated it a 4 star, and I honestly don't remember too much about it. I do know I enjoyed the story, but it wasn't something that will stick with me forever, if I'm being honest. I don't know if I'm going to change the rating. I don't think I do, because in that moment I really did enjoy the book, and if it's a 4 star in that moment, it's a 4 star. This book follows Lila and Tyron. I'm probably saying his name wrong, but Lila is a mafia princess. She's always been concealed because she basically has a disability. They say she has the mind of a 3-year-old. Her mom actually does that so she can be protected and not have to be married off to a man, but she ends up having something really tragic happen to her, and she does end up having to be married to Tyron. Her mind is also not the mind of a 3-year-old, if you haven't picked up on that, but she has an actual disability where she is deaf. Tyron is a mafia man through and through, got it out the mud, you know, all of that. So their alliance will bring more power, but they're also having an alliance because she is pregnant. I haven't read a book where they was pregnant in a long time. Did I think I was going to like it? No, but did I like it? It was cool. I don't think it was a big deal. We didn't really focus on the pregnancy too much, if you ask me, but it was there. Did it impact the story? Yes, it's the reason we have a story. But it was a good book. I did rate it a 4 star. I don't really have much to say about it further than that, but go read it if you want. Now the next book, I can't really tell you the premise of this story because it's like the 3rd book in a series. It's called Her Pretty Little Revenge. It's by Nikki Harris. It's a series, the Kids of District series, but this is like an add-on book if you ask me. The original books are His Pretty Little Queen, and I'm pretty sure His Pretty Little Burden. I loved those books. Oh my gosh, they're like a hug for me, and they did that like thing in smut that I really like. Oh my gosh, they're a hug. I never read books that good and so freaking long, except for like obviously Deep End by Ellie Hazelwood. And I do feel like this book was an add-on just to continue with Clay and Fawn. In the first book they meet, Fawn is actually pregnant and she's trying to find her father, and she has to find him through Clay. That's how their whole interaction starts. And this book was actually a 3rd book of them actually being married, living together, having kids, and just seeing how their life is going right now, and also planning their marriage and then having another baby. It was just this whole 1-2, and I do feel like this book was just an add-on. It wasn't a lot of plot. Yes, it had things happening. It was a little bit of action in there. Don't recommend you read this book if you have not read the first 2 books, and it was a 3 star for me. If I knew it wasn't like a real story or plot behind it, I probably wouldn't have read it, but I did enjoy seeing Clay and Fawn again. The last full book I ended up reading was Like You Hate Me by Bethany Winters. This book was toxic as This was another because I am obsessed with romances and they just comforting for me. This book was toxic. We have Zavi and Nate. Zavi is Nate's late sister's best friend, and Nate blames Zavi for the reason his sister is now dead. Zavi ends up moving into the house that Nate is living in college because it was always his spot to live there when him and his sister were supposed to be going to college, but obviously the sister passed away. So Zavi is still going to move into that house, but Nate is like, I will kill you. He beats him up as soon as he comes to the house. I don't think I ever read an book this toxic, and if I'm being honest, I don't know how they got together. Did I almost cry at the end? Yes, but they were so toxic. It's kind of crazy how they got together and figured it out. If I'm being honest, it's a little far-fetched because I don't think they would end up together the way the story went. I rated this book a 3 star. I thought it was okay. It was messy. The smut was okay. The last book on this list is Wrath by Ella James, and I ended up DNFing this almost 700-page romance. Josh Miller is one of our MMCs. I'm literally reading the text. Ezra is our other MMC. Ezra has a lot going on. Josh has a lot going on. This book deals with a lot of mental health problems that might or might not be real. I actually don't know because I stopped reading this book about 400 pages into the book. I could have read those other 300 pages, but I did not like where that book was going. It's like once I got to the third quarter of the book, because this book follows the quarters of a football game: first quarter, second quarter, halftime, third, and fourth. And I just did not like where this book was going. I knew I wasn't going to enjoy it, so I decided to DNF this book. I wasn't going to waste my time. This book actually also put me into a slump. The book was sad, and honestly, I didn't get my happy ending. This book had a lot of scenes where I just was like, okay, what the freak is the point of this? Why am I seeing all of these scenes and nothing is happening? It felt like a little bit of a waste of time. It was also sad. Like I said, it brought my mood down, and then not being able to finish that 700-page book really messed me up, and I'm currently in a reading slump. Yes, because I DNF'd this book 4 days ago, and I have not picked up a book yet. So now we close the computer because this video is over. That is everything I read in February. We read a total of 8 books, 1 DNF, a lot of digital books, and 2 physical books. Thank you for staying with me. My Goodreads is linked below. It will always be linked below going forward from this video and my last video. So make sure you follow my Goodreads because I talk to myself a lot there, and you will be able to see what I've been reading so far. I love you guys, and I hope March is a better reading month for me because we need it.